Shabbos Daf Samach. We learned in our Mishnah that a woman cannot go out into Rosh Hashanah with a ring that doesn't have a signet to it. And that's the Issa D'Rabbanan. You can be medayik from the Mishnah that if it does have a signet, then it's Asr even Midairaisa. The problem is that the Mishnah in Kalim tells us that what's considered jewelry, a ring that has a signet or doesn't have a signet. So you see, even though it has a signet, it's considered jewelry. If it's considered jewelry, it should be mutter to go out in Rosh Hashanah and only Asr Midairabanan. Says Rava, perhaps the Mishnah in Kalim can be read as two separate halachas. If it has a signet, then it's jewelry for a man, because the derech of a man is to use a signet and sign things, not the derech of the woman. If it doesn't have a signet, then it's jewelry for a woman. Rav Nachman ben Yitzchak says, when it comes to Tumah, all you need is a kli, a vessel. And if it has a signet, then it's a kli, and it's not a tachshit, it's not jewelry, and therefore it's mekabel Tumah. When it comes to Shabbos, what we're looking for is this thing considered jewelry, or is it considered a burden, a masui? And if it has a signet, it's considered a masui, and therefore it's usher to go out with it in Rosh Hashanah. The Mishnah tells us a woman should not go out with a needle that doesn't have a hole. What purpose does a needle without a hole serve? Well, if she takes the needle and wraps her hair around it, and then takes that needle and puts it underneath the svacha, the covering of her head, we're not concerned she's going to take that out on Shabbos, because she'll show her hair, and that's not tznius. If it's a needle that she's using to part her hair, then it is osir. According to Rava, this particular needle has on the other side a decor. And therefore during the week she uses it to part her hair, to comb her hair. And on Shabbos she uses it as jewelry. She puts it into her hat. And therefore it's osir to use on Shabbos. You might come to take it out and show your friends. Says the Mishnah, there's a very interesting zera that you're not allowed to walk out on Shabbos with sandals that have nails on the bottom. Why? Because of a Maisa Shahaya. There was a story that the Jews were hiding from the enemy in a cave, and they made a rule, like in the Corona, if you come into the house, you cannot leave, and if you leave the house, you cannot come in, or the cave. And they noticed footsteps leading away from the cave. In fact, what happened was, somebody was walking into the cave, but he was wearing a sandal mesumar backwards, because you could put it on both ways. So they made a gzeira that you cannot walk out on Shabbos with the sandal mesumar. And since this story happened on Shabbos, the gzeira is only on Shabbos and Yontiv, which is very similar to Shabbos. There's another gzeira by Mechatos. The ashes of the Parah Aduma, they once shipped the ashes over the Jordan River on a ship. And they realized later on that there was a kazayis of a dead person there, which was metam, and ruined the ashes, which were very valuable. So they made a gzeira that you cannot transfer or transport ashes of paraduma over any body of water in any form. It doesn't matter if it's a ship or you're swimming. Comes Rabbi Chanina Bar Akiva and says no, it has to be exactly like the gzeira, only over the Jordan River and only on a ship. That is, if you swim across the Jordan River, it's okay, and if you use a ship on any other river, it's also okay. In our case, Rabbi Chanina Bar Akiva would admit that the gzeira is also on Yontiv, since Yontiv and Shabbos are so similar. The gzeira is only exactly like it happened, and the shoe that happened, the story that happened over there was a sandal that had nails to strengthen the sandal, but not for decor. So if you're using these nails as decor, it's mutter. And any other shoe that's not exactly like the gzeira would be mutter, as we're going to describe in a minute. Rabbi Yochanan says like Reb Nehurai, which is that you're allowed to have up to 5 nails per shoe, 2 on each side and 1 in the back. It's also possible that Rabbi Yochanan holds you can have 7 in a case where you're using these nails to lift up the shoe. According to Reb Chanina, he holds like Reb Nassan, you can have 7 per shoe, 3 on each side and 1 in the back. And according to Rebbe, 13 on a shoe that you're trying to raise and 7 on a regular shoe. If you took a piece of leather, you took a shoe, and you sewed it into the sandal, that's mutter because it's not like the gzeira. The gzeira happened without a piece of leather. The Brisa says it's so usher to wear one of these sandal mesumers on Shabbos, you can't even go from one bed in your house to the other. But these following cases you're allowed to do. You're allowed to take a sandal mesumer and cover another vessel. You're allowed to take a sandal mesumer and lift up your bed with it. Rebbe Elazar ben Shim says that's usher. You might come to wear it. Although he makes a lot of sense, but since he's one against many, we don't pass him like him. If you take a piece of leather and you cover the whole bottom of your shoe, mutter. That's not what the gzera was. If you use staples, kalbus, that's not what the gzera was. If you use a tas or yasid, narrow nails, wide nails, or you cover the entire body with nails, that's not what the gzera was, mutter. If most of the nails are worn out, but you could tell that there was nails there, so that's not how it was created, that's not how you made it, mutter. If you have 4 nails on a very tight shoe, or 5 on not so tight, mutter. Reb Chia says, if not for the fact that people called me a person that's mekel, I would say you're allowed to put a lot of nails on. Machlokes and Pumbedisa say he meant 24 nails. In Surah they say he meant 22. If you want to remember it, when Reb Chia went from Babel to Eretz Yisrael, he passed by Surah. By that time, he must have lost 2 out of his 24 nails, and therefore in Surah they said 22 nails. Have a wonderful day.